So Carol and I started Beyond Hunger almost 30 years ago. Because when we were recovering from our own eating disorder, we couldn't find a place that gave us intuitive eating, emotional intelligence, and body acceptance. And we really believe for long-lasting, for permanent recovery from an eating disorder, you need those three things.
So we wanted to start a program that had a non-diet approach. And at that time, there were a few people doing that, but not very many. And we also wanted to provide support because it's a very hard process to do alone in this culture where you're getting bombarded with messages. You have to have a unit of people who get it and can support you in another way of being in the world.
I think we create a worse problem by saying, you're obese, you're obese, you're obese, and you need to diet, diet, diet. Instead of, why don't we look at if people are eating for reasons other than hunger? Why don't we look at that and then address that instead of being over here to keep telling people that they're wrong because they look a certain way.
Our culture has projected so much onto dieting and body type that we can't think clearly. We're brainwashed. So we have to be able to match that knowledge with our intuitive sense, or else what you get is disordered eating. We have been taught from a very early age, right, about dieting, what we should or shouldn't eat, right? And we've been taught to disconnect from the truth of our body, the feedback that we get within our body, and operate from our head up. Combined with that, the dieting industry, which teaches us to disconnect from our internal truth. At the same time came the beauty industry, which taught us to hate our bodies. So when you combine those two belief systems, and you're a little girl, and you're internalizing this unconsciously at age 7, 8, 9, what happens is there's an extreme perspective around foods. Bad food means if we eat it, we're bad. We get fat. Good foods mean if we eat it, we're good, we'll be thin. And it becomes so distorted that the concept now of good food versus bad food means something completely different than a nutritionist saying, this is a healthy food for your body, this food isn't so healthy.
For girls, it's just like expected for girls to be insecure. Like I tutor a girl who's 9 years old and she's already like feeling really insecure about her body. She wants to fit into the slim sizes at Abercrombie. She wants to look like the images that she sees. And how is a 9-year-old girl supposed to know that those images are airbrushed and photoshopped and that your worth shouldn't depend on how you look? Like when you're that young and you're constantly seeing those things, you're like defenseless against it. I know I was. I mean, I wasn't diagnosed until I was 11 or 12, but I was dieting probably in 4th grade or 5th grade. I mean, as far back as I can remember feeling insecure about how I looked and my weight.
In what we've seen for the last over 20 years, people are coming in to recovery with all kinds of different body types. But the one thing that is all the way through, they all hate their body. So they may be really thin and they hate it, and they may be really large and they hate it, and every in between and they hate it. So it seems to me that's the problem, not the food.
What's unique about the Beyond Hunger approach is that we are a holistic approach. Not only do we focus on the eating behaviors, and our approach is one of intuitive eating. So really being able to identify the wisdom within our body that can guide us to eat in a way that is most serving to our own individual needs. But we also focus on body acceptance, being able to love and accept our bodies, our natural bodies, and the ability to understand the underlying feelings and struggles which create either our obsession or our overeating or undereating and learn to nurture ourselves and take care of ourselves emotionally so that we don't have to go to destructive behaviors to deal with them.
We need to start critiquing the messages and the images that we allow into our mind. Almost, I think we need to go on a media diet.
It seems like when I go around to universities and hear young women talk, and even sometimes older women, the women are so intelligent about dieting and how it doesn't work, but yet a lot of them just do it anyway. I mean, why?
What up with that? Yeah, it's crazy making. You know, it is. It's like, that's how we know the brainwashing is complete.
We have in this culture an obsession with thinness and a level of fat hatred and body hatred that is so severe. And it's an internalized prejudice that we all walk around with, and where most of us are unaware of it. When we have a mortality rate for anorexia that's 12 times higher than all causes of death put together, for young women ages 15 to 24, we're in trouble. They're dying of disordered eating and body hatred. We can't ignore it. And our young women who are starting to die because of their body hatred are the consequences of the years and years of the messages.
But the first article doesn't start till page 202. Wow. Just so you know.
And it's insane because our bodies are sacred. Beyond Hunger supports the Health at Every Size model, which really encourages people to find their own unique health, no matter the size of their body, that you can be healthy at any size. And health, the definition of health is not just about weight. The definition of health is emotional, meeting your emotional needs, meeting your physical, meeting your spiritual needs. You can work to be healthy, you can work to be active, you can work with feeding your body in a way that sustains your own individual body, no matter what size you are.
We named our nonprofit Beyond Hunger because what both of us found in our own recoveries that we had to go beyond the physical hunger and go to our emotional hunger, our spiritual hunger, if you will, of what really was going on with us. Because it's not about the food. Our book is called It's Not About the Food. It's not about the food. It's not about how many fat grams. It's not about how many calories. It's not about carbs or, what you eat or when you eat or how you eat. It's about what the body needs. And that's different for every person on earth. One part of our program is our peer education program, where we teach young women to go into schools and talk about this issue to their peers. And the reason why we do that is because we believe that this issue starts really young. So we take it directly to the youth.
So the beautiful thing about the peer education program is that we train these young women and men who have recovered from their own experiences of body hatred or disordered eating to go into the classrooms and teach their peers. And of course, as they go in there and they're doing this prevention and education, they internalize the message so strongly and they become our own ambassadors into the world, where they get used to speaking up and speaking this truth and teaching others. And it's quite a beautiful process.
So the mortality rate associated with anorexia nervosa is 12 times higher than the death rate for females aged 15 to 24 in America.
So that's the road you can go down if you choose to react to those media images in that way. But there's another road you can go down to. And we're all standing here so that you don't have to go down this road.
What we at Beyond Hunger are fighting for is a complete shift in paradigm. We are talking about getting out from underneath the obsession with body hatred, with what we should or shouldn't eat, and tapping into our true internal power, which is our inherent wisdom, which is the wisdom of our bodies, the wisdom of our souls. And beneath all this obsession lies an incredible resource of creativity and beauty.
So I really want to give a message of hope to those people who are still struggling with this issue, who think that they're never going to be well. They can be well. they can recover. They can have this issue completely gone from their lives. They can learn how to eat like a normal person, eat intuitively. They can learn how to love their magnificent body as it is. And they can take care of themselves emotionally, spiritually, physically. And when we do that, we all become better people.